message to the person that's in charge of the voter file, and I'll have them get back to you, and I will confirm that they will indeed get back to you. Okay?
Okay, but what about this information about the registration at the business address? You don't know what form. I don't remember the name of the form. It's your form, but you don't remember. You don't know what I'm talking about?
I know if you filled out a registration form, your affidavit that I can see online. You did this online, correct?
No, I did it on physical paper on election office official stationery sent to that address, which is also the address on my ID. And I registered. The second round of the last 4 or 5 registrations began at the DMV when I got my new ID for that address. I registered. Okay. And then they sent me forms to that address, and I registered again. And then they sent the thing about the affidavit for registering at your business address, and I filled it out and sent it back. And then they sent the same identical form, so I filled it out again, recorded me, putting it in the envelope, and sending it back. And that was 4 months ago. That was like June. Now we're in October, and it's still pending.
Well, from what I see, it's pending because it's not a residential address, but
you said you are aware of the affidavit about registering at your business address, which is the form you all sent me.
No, I'm not aware that anybody could register at a business address. They have to give us at least cross streets.
At least cross streets for where? Well, cross streets to where?
To where you live.
I don't live anywhere. I'm homeless.
I understand. We have a lot of homeless voters, but what they'll do
apparently not.
Where do you live?
I don't live anywhere. I'm homeless. You understand what homeless means?
I do. Where do you sleep at night?
Outside.
Well, is it like the regular place?
No, I don't have a regular place.
Well, I can give your information to the person in charge of this. That's the best I can do. I don't believe that you can be registered at a business mail drop box.
Then why would you send me paperwork, which I have recordings of, to the opposite effect?
I am not aware that we've ever let anybody register. We're not allowed to do that. So, do you have paperwork that you can...
I've got video of the paperwork you sent me that was completed and returned, saying what I'm saying, and you don't know what you sent me, apparently. I find that suspicious, that you don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh. See, I'm not in charge of this unit. I didn't send you anything, and without knowing what it is, it's hard for me to really respond.
Well, here's a clue. You have my address as pending, right? The form you got that off of. Where's that?
I'm looking at the form that we got this off of.
How many of them do you see? Can you see multiple registrations? Do you see multiple registration forms?
Well, I see this one, the primary one. This has
the primary one. Do you see any other registration forms?
Let me look and see what I see. These are the only addresses that I see.
No, not different address. They're all the same address, but there are multiple registrations for the same address because I responded to every letter you sent me saying register at this address, confirm this address, give an affidavit twice about this address. How many registrations do you have for that specific address, not a different address?
I see on January 28th the address of 23615 Road, number 127. It didn't have the rest of the street.
Number X127?
It said X127, but it didn't have the El Toro Road on it.
Okay, so that's not the last registration. I'm talking about January. There were 2 more before the primary, 2 more regular after the primary, 2 more affidavits after that.
I just show the 3 changes.
3.
Including the one from April 29th.
Okay, you just said January. Now we're up to April. That sounds like right around the primary time. Okay, and what does that one say?
That has the 23615 El Toro Road, PMB X127.
Okay, I don't know what the T&B is.
I don't know. Postal mailbox? I don't know.
That's all right except for that. Now it was April. Now you said there was 3. Where's the other one you're seeing?
I see 2 at the one in January with the 23615 and road and X127. Then there's one from 429 that has that same address. So basically, I just have the 2 addresses with the 3 different dates.
But the last one you have is April, not May or June?
No, I don't show. I just saw April 29th.
Okay, there should be several more.
I don't show any more associated with this.
And also, the
address.
last several were mailed to me at the address.
Well, I could understand you could receive the mail because that's a mailing address, but it can't be used to register you to vote. That's all.
Your
would be able to
paperwork
receive
said it
mail
could.
there. Well,
And it also counts, it's a business center. You can't tell what it is. You're not supposed to be able to tell. It's an address. The fact we're having this conversation is an infringement of my rights. It's not a P.O. box.
we know.
You're getting too much personal information about me.
It's a business mail drop address.
Okay, so you're saying it's not possible for me to register the vote either, despite sending me a form saying I was going to be multiple times. I have to give you some sort of address.
Residential address, cross streets, exactly.
I don't have a residential address.
And I understand that. Like I said, we have a lot of voters that don't. They're registered at cross street, and then they provide a mailing address somewhere where we can mail their ballot, their voter information guide.
And how do I determine what cross streets to register at?
That would be done by you.
How? Under what criteria?
Generally. I'm sorry?
Under what criteria? What criteria do I use?
Well, where are you most of the time? Or if you want to register, like right now, where are you going to sleep tonight?
Not at an address.
No, but you would have to give cross-directional streets. You don't
On
need
the
to
side
give
of
me
a
your
fucking
residential
mountain
address.
somewhere where I set up camp. Between 2 trees. In a hammock. Under a tarp.
What are the cross streets for those 2 trees in the hammock? It must be at a cross streets of 2 streets. What are the nearest streets? This is just so they can give you the correct ballot type.
Use the address. Use the 23615 El Toro. My address.
By law, we can't because that's a business mail drop box. It's not a residential address. You don't live at this.
I have pictures of your papers saying I can.
And that's fine. That's fine. It's just.
I filled those forms out repeatedly and returned them.
Did you return it with this as your residential address?
No. It said I could sign the affidavit, use the address that you were using, and I did so.
You need to return it with an address at the residential address.
I filled the form out correctly. I recorded myself filling the form out correctly.
And that's fine. But
and you don't have any record of that form. You're saying the last is April. No. We're talking, there's at least several more. And you said 2 different numbers. You said you saw 3, then you said you saw 2. I don't know.
I said that there are 2 different addresses on those 3 sets of registration. The one without the El Toro Road, and then the one with it.
Okay, but you do see 3 registrations.
I see the 3 different dates reflected.
And the last one, is
April
April.
29th.
Okay, well, that was not the last one. The two forms I'm talking about with the affidavit I had to sign and return came after that. And I believe in response to that, actually. And none of that's the me trying to register after the primary when I had trouble voting during the primary. There was another set of registration and a whole other chain when I went to the DMV and got my new ID. I registered at that time. And then it didn't take. And I started the process over and re-registered after the primary because I had trouble voting in the primary.
Right, because I see the date is March 9th, so that was after the primary, yes.
Okay, well, can't you? So if I ask you to send me another form to verify my business address, you don't even know what form to send me.
Well, I would need to send you a registration form.
I have to begin the whole registration process that has taken 4 or 5 months over again, 2 weeks before the election.
If you can provide me cross streets, I can add it to your record here and put that as your residential address.
Use
We could resolve it.
Use the address at the 23615 El Toro. Use El Toro.
El Toro and what? What's the other cross street?
I'm looking right now.
Okay.
Raymond Way.
Raymond Way, okay.
That's the corner at the shopping center of the shopping center where that business center is located.
Okay. All right. I will best to get this resolved for you. I will give you a call back. Do you want my name and number?
Can you just send it in a message? I didn't bring a pen with me.
In a voicemail?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
Fine. I can just leave you a message. I will leave you a message with that, but let me see. Let me take care of this so we can get you on record, okay?
Yeah, and I prefer just to use. I'm gonna go after this. I'm gonna go sit in photos, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look up the. I'm gonna go look at the form and figure out what it's called. I've forgotten. It's been a third of a year. But it's your form, and next time you talk to me, I'll know what it's called.
Okay. Okay. What I'm going to do is print out the most recent registration that I see here and add your residential cross streets on there. And I think with that, they'll be able to put you on record. So
does it matter if there's no residential anything at that cross street? It's the corner of a mall.
I'm just going to give them the corners, okay?
Okay. Bell Tower Plaza is what it's called.
Okay. I will call you back. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, but I'll call you back as soon as I've been able to get this resolved, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Absolute fucking nightmare. Now, yeah, it's my fault. I don't remember the name of the form from a third of a year ago, from 4 months ago. But I did vlog about it. Some of my old fans will probably remember. It was after the primaries and after the fuck around. And I vlogged multiple times about it. 1, the re-registration, and 2, the affidavit. Like, hey, they sent this form for me to re-register at the address I'm registering at to the address I'm registering at. Just the fact that I sent that form back means I got it when they sent it to that address. And then I did that, just the one with the affidavit about using my business address. And I forget the exact wording. It said something about if you don't have a residential address, you can use your business address. And also, it's not a business drop box. It's a business center. There's no way to tell the difference between that and a regular business address. That's why I pay over 350% the price of a P.O. box for it. For the electronics and stuff, anything that can't be shipped to a P.O. box. It's not a P.O. box, it's an address. Okay? If you know more than that, you've invaded my privacy. And it's 2:23 in the afternoon. This is taking a work day. After all the adventures trying to register to vote before, I'm devoting an entire work day at the office to register the vote. And did you hear the stupid little, just give us a cross street? how about the address I'm registered to vote at, the cross street near it? And if that's acceptable, why not the address I'm registered to vote at? And she starts talking about, well, where do you spend most time? Well, one area I frequent is the address I'm registered to vote at. But it's also the address on my ID and my banking information. And where I will get a package or a letter, like voter registration.